I have called Mammoth and the Eastern Sierra home since the early 1980s. My name is Cheryl Wood. I left briefly in the 1980s to finish my master's in business administration at the University of California in Irvine, and I returned in 1993. As I explained to family and to friends down south, the mountains are calling. And yes, they do, as John Muir so eloquently wrote in My First Summer. Much of what he describes, from the granite monuments to the lush meadows, can be found a short or a long hike from the many hiking trailheads near town. Some lead to either the John Muir Trail or to the Pacific Crest Trail. And, like most of us, I learned about the area through skiing Mammoth Mountain. Then I moved here to work at the Mammoth Mountain ski area through an internship in my graduate program. Suffice it to say, I took a break from my studies and learned what I could instead about this amazing piece of paradise. I did return to finish my MBA, and I'm glad to have it up here. The region is sculpted through volcanic eruptions 50,000 years ago, giving rise to the Mammoth Mountain and Eastern Sierra Range. The first known to inhabit the land were the Paiute tribe of Native Americans about 1,000 years before the arrival of the earliest mining pioneers. In 1857, the stories shared about the first Western inhabitants were about a handful of German miners, and later, around 1877, the Lakes Mining District on Mineral Hill, near Lake Mary. Following this came the Mammoth Mining Company, founded by General George Dodge of San Francisco. The area was dubbed Mammoth City, with a population of between 15,000 and 3,000 people. They had hotels, saloons, and 2 newspapers. And yes, today we have 2 newspapers, the Sheet and the Mammoth Times, and many, many hotels, condominiums. We have bars, not saloons so much, and restaurants. We braved the elements in greater comfort than did the earlier settlers to the area. In fact, the harsh winters forced most of that early community out. Yet talk of the extraordinary land continued to draw visitors in who endured, once the automobile became popular, a 2.5-day ride up the steep grades. They came to fish, to hunt, to camp, to hike, and to be mountaineers. Yes, we still do these activities today, but we have added skiing, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, skate skiing, snowmobiling, dog sledding, and so much more for the winter months. In the summers, we have added paddleboarding, canoeing, climbing, and again, so much more. If you hike to Pine City in the Lakes Basin, you can see remnants of the past, some buildings, a lot of outhouses, and the entrance to an old mine. But again, I came to ski. Eventually, I became acquainted with the man who made this all possible for us, Dave McCoy. I served as a board member on the Mammoth Lakes Foundation, his legacy to support the arts and bring higher education to the communities of Bishop and Mammoth. Today, if you drive over to the Saracosa Community College Center, you can find the building named for Dave and Roma McCoy and built through funds from Measure C, which I had the honor of chairing. Dave asked, "How can we thank you enough?" And I responded with a smile, "Dave, it's you who inspire us. Just tell us what to do next." And he did. Dave led the board forward to create a small performing arts theater, a ski history museum, and dorms for the community college students. The current project is to build a larger performing arts center with classrooms to add new venues to the community college curriculum. While my commitments elsewhere took me away from my role on that board, I continue to support their mission. It is because Dave had the vision to see the ski area and the vision to see a college that our communities reap the benefits of both tourism and a wonderful community environment to raise a family in, which I did. I met my husband Rick Wood here in town, and we have 3 children, all of whom live in Mammoth. Our oldest son and daughter, Ryan and Linnell, ventured out for their studies and for their travels, and they both returned. Our youngest, Davis, is of limited capacity. He will remain with us and join his siblings in the community which embraces his eccentricities as only a small town can. My husband Rick served as our town mayor 6 times and finally retired to take on the role as an advocate at the state level for those with special needs. He and I were part of a pilot project, the name of which is called Self-Determination. Today it's being expanded in the state of California, and Rick is very involved in that program. Our last child has severe limitations. He is diagnosed and was diagnosed as the 33rd child in the world to receive a rare diagnosis called the Phelan-McDermott syndrome. Sometimes I refer to it as PMS, lovingly, and to put a smile on other people's faces. While we acknowledge the challenge, we're fortunate to reap the gold within the gift of mentoring a person of limited capacity. They are truly, truly special souls. I'm hoping that a manuscript I have been working on for the past 15 years, called The 33rd Child and the Shadow of the Gift, will be on track to be published in 2015. Our other 2 children, Ryan and Linnell, work in town. Ryan practices law with Rick, while Linnell practices real estate with me. And yes, small town living has its rewards. The spirit of our community is reflected through the lifestyle the landscape provides, the challenge of the environment, from weather to terrain and wildlife, and the camaraderie inherent in working together, neighbor to neighbor, when tough times interrupt the good times. We are the Eastern Sierra. For more on the history of the ski area and Dave McCoy, please check the Mammoth History link on our website. Whether you are poking around to see if this area is a fit, or if you are committed to a second home or a retirement home in Mammoth, or the areas surrounding Mammoth, please drop us an email or call. We enjoy introducing people to a place we love. We are committed to the journey of finding the right fit for our buyers. We carry this in a varied format when we represent our sellers, for we understand the transition and continually make this as uncomplicated and hassle-free as we can. I have enjoyed real estate through many boom years and lean years. I have served as the sales director for the first launch of Talus, a fractional residential neighborhood on the Sierra Star Golf Course, and implemented many successful marketing programs using my background from my graduate studies in marketing. I have named grand homes in campaigns and have been imitated many times over in my marketing tactics, which I take as a compliment. Am I right for you? I cannot say until we meet, and I hope to have that opportunity. Thank you.